one.
Good morning, good afternoon, or whatever time of day you're listening. I'm Holden here with my co-host Chris, and we want to welcome you to Two Dads, One Controller, your go-to podcast for games, movies, and all things heroic. Today we're taking a closer look at Marvel Rivals, the game that's been shaking up the console, PC world, and strategy gaming community alike with its fast-paced action and iconic Marvel flair. Marvel Rivals is more than just a game, it's an epic battle where your favorite Marvel heroes and villains face off in thrilling tactical duels, whether you're a fan of Spider-Man, Wolverine, Doctor Doom, or even Thanos. Marvel Rivals delivers the ultimate playground for players to test their strategy, building their dream teams, and of course settle scores in true Marvel fashion. But what makes this game truly stand out? Is it the immersive gameplay, the stunning artwork, or endless replayability as you switch up your tactics and discover new combos with new characters and teammates alike? We're going to break it all down today, everything from what makes this game tick to why it's quickly becoming a must-have for Marvel fans and gamers alike. So whether you're a die-hard gamer or someone just curious about what makes Marvel Rivals such a hit, stick around. We'll explore the mechanics, talk about the strategies, and maybe even share a few behind-the-scenes tidbits about what makes this game a true gem in the Marvel gaming universe. Let's get into it.
Two dads playing late in the night. Video games shine neon lights. Control the world, saving the day. Superheroes come out to play.
So what is Marvel Rivals? What's the story behind it? Because I didn't know. So I had to pull from some sources such as comicbooks.com, Gamer Rant, and all that to give you this. Marvel Rivals is a team-based PvP shooter developed by NetEase Games in collaboration with Marvel Games, released on December 6th. The game's narrative centers around a catastrophic event known as the Time Stream Entanglement, triggered by a confrontation between Doctor Doom and his future counterpart from the year 2099. This event causes multiple timelines to merge, leading to a collision of various universes within the Marvel multiverse. As a result of the temporal chaos, heroes and villains from different realities are brought together, forming new alliances and rivalries. Players assemble teams of 6 characters, choosing from a roster that includes iconic figures such as Spider-Man, Venom, Magneto, and many others, each with unique abilities and roles. The objective is to navigate the challenges posed by the entangled timeline, confront the dual threats of Doctor Doom and his 2099 counterpart, and restore order to the multiverse. The game's first season just launched on January 10th, titled Eternal Night Falls. In this season, Dracula collaborates with Doctor Doom to alter the moon's orbit, plunging New York City into eternal night and unleashing a horde of vampires. Additionally, Doctor Strange is imprisoned in a pocket dimension, and players must work to break the mystical darkness using science and teamwork. This season introduces the Fantastic Four. As of this recording, Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Woman have been released, with Human Torch and The Thing being released later this month. So, Chris, what are your initial impressions of the game?
Well, before I get into my initial impressions, I got a question for you, because I thought this was really cool. When you look at the new skins, they tell you what comic that skin came from. So how do you get your Marvel comic source? Because I know we have been reading the DC comics on the Infinity app. So where do you get your sources for Marvel comics?
I used to. They have Marvel Unlimited, the app, where you can read them, and I've gone through before and read a few, but mostly there's a page there's 2 YouTube pages I'll give shout outs to. Comic Books Explained and Variant Comics, where I'm a butcher this, Aris Quinones with Variant Comics will break down like House of M or Civil War or whatever comic you pick, and kind of give you the history of like different characters and all that stuff. They do a really good job with it. But I used to put that when I would get done flying for the day. I used to go down when I was heading home, like a 30-minute drive, and I would just put on one of their videos and just listen to it on the drive. Because there's a lot of good stuff out there. But to kind of see what series I want to get into and what I want to start reading.
Yeah, I think I'm going to start listening to those now, because as I've been going through the skins, I've like, some of them were weird to me, and I was like, I probably should learn a bit about this. And that's when we were playing yesterday, and I was like, oh, the King Magnus. I thought the skin was weird, and then you explained the comic book, and I was like, probably should do a little bit of reading.
That's probably one of the better Marvel. House of M is like one of the most iconic Marvel comics of all time, especially like if you're talking about Scarlet Witch, because she altered all of reality and made her own reality, which is kind of a testament to just how powerful she is. But a lot of people reference that when talking about how powerful is she actually.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, let's get into what did you think of the game? Your first time playing it, when you heard it, or I don't even know if you remember it being announced. What were your thoughts on that?
So when it was announced, my first thought was, oh, cool. We finally get a PvP style game that allows us to play as some of our favorite superheroes. That was really the big thing to me. It's like, okay, play as favorite superheroes. Nothing much else really triggered me on their announcement release. So that was the only thing I was looking forward to. Going into the gameplay, and this is where a lot of game critics kind of go after Marvel Rivals, like, oh, it's a copy of Overwatch 2. Yeah, I would agree. The gameplay is very similar to Overwatch 2, but it does add its own mechanics. So the one thing I like that they did add is the team up capability. It's a new flavor. It really drives your team to select heroes in a combination so that you can get better abilities to work together. That's the one thing I like that they added from Marvel Rivals. In Marvel Rivals is different from Overwatch. The other thing I do like about the gameplay style is it is a third-person shooter, so you get to see everything that's going on, a little bit more perspective to the game. Changes some of the combat mechanisms that you do, where you can peek behind walls a lot easier than first-person shooter. So, all in all, I think it's a good game. It's a new introduction into this style of game. For objective-based team combat.
I think that, because I mean, you and me, I think we played a little bit of Overwatch 2, but we used to play the first Overwatch, and I can remember the characters in my head, but I can't remember any of their names. But like my go-to was that centaur-looking one with the like Gatling guns, and you could do shields, and that was. Because we didn't play it that much, but that's kind of where kind of compared it to was those characters and finding a character I liked in Marvel Rivals. But like when it first came out, like gameplay looked good. If you put Marvel or DC, if there's a superhero tag on a game, I'm gonna play it. I'll at least try it out because that's kind of what I love in games. Those are my favorite kind of games. But when it came out, it's kind of labeled the Overwatch killer, and I think it is because pretty recently they looked at the number of people playing each game, and Marvel Rivals is like at 135,000 concurrent players, and Overwatch 2 is at like 5,000 and going down. Like I think Rivals for what it is, especially being a free game, because the original Overwatch I don't think was free, and then they made it free for the second one.
Yeah, no. So Overwatch, when it first came out, it was $60 to play, and then I think 5 years down the road of just Overwatch, they made it free to play. And then they came out with Overwatch 2, which honestly, Overwatch 2 is just an extension of Overwatch.
Yeah, and I thought that was dumb that they did that.
And I agree. They did that with Fortnite as well. They did Fortnite and then Fortnite 2. So it's just a spin on, hey, new name, new game,
Fortnite too.
Yeah, so remember the original Fortnite? When they came back out with the new edition of Fortnite where they added all these modes, it was called Fortnite 2 for a while. Well, people may have forgot about that because it backtracked, because it was like everyone realized you're just releasing the same game. It was the same thing with Overwatch 2, which I think that's the reason when you said Marvel Rivals is going to be the Overwatch killer, or is by other critics, it's going to be in the sense that it is a new game. And the way they did Marvel Rivals releasing is they released it with 35 characters to start off with. In Overwatch, I can't remember how many they had in the release, but it was a small group of characters that you can choose from. And it limited the playstyle early on.
So, slight correction. So they do have 35 characters now, but it was released with 33 rivals, with Mr. and Mrs. Fantastic or Invisible Woman being the additional two. But I'll say, like, my first thoughts for rivals was you get in and you do the tutorial with Punisher, and then they give you these different characters you could do to try and figure them out. Because we can just go ahead and kind of get into who we like and who we don't like in the game. Because my from you start looking at a game and it starts filling up your feed like on social medias, and so mine was just Marvel Rivals for a bit, and it still is a little bit. But the complaint I saw was like, this person is overpowered. They need to nerf this character. But I would see it about like 7 or 8 characters, to the point where you almost see almost every character in the game say they need to be nerfed. And that's where I think shows that it's a very balanced game. Because you could go like my play style, and I'll kind of give away my go-to character. Like for Duelist, I try to get away from him. I really do. I really do. I try to try other characters, but whenever I feel like I'm just dragging ass in a game, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go back to Punisher, and I can get MVP with the rest of the game just because it's a quick style. Let's just kind of talk about the Duelist. It's a quick style. If you go down the list, like I tried Star-Lord, right? Love the character, but you have to be so precise because you're reloading every other second, it feels like. I don't know if you had a chance to play as Star-Lord.
No, I've been just playing mostly the strategist characters, and yeah. So go more into Star-Lord because I haven't played him much. From DPS I mainly tried to do Punisher, and then who else have I tried? I think I tried Spider-Man, which really difficult. Like the close combat, I struggle with.
That's what I kind of, and it's that like the difficulty for Spider-Man is expert. Like you'll see, if people are getting smart about this, you'll see videos of where if one team's released first, like Spider-Man, and it really depends on the map, is what I'm finding. I'll play a little bit just to get used to the map. Then I'm like, all right, this character will be good in this map because there's like a lot of places to fall off the map. So I saw a video where like a Spider-Man or someone playing a Spider-Man did the map, wall crawled, and then as soon as the other team entered, they just this big like web pull and pulled them all off the map and killed them. And so I feel like there's a lot of kind of funny loopholes in that. I think they just buffed her. But as far as Duelist goes, Storm should be way more powerful than she is. Way more. I feel like she's one of the weaker Duelists. I'm like going through the list. Her, and I've seen Namor a good bit. I don't like Namor, if I'm being honest. And I'm not very good with Scarlet Witch either. I'm pretty good with Punisher. Iron Man is like, it's not that great of a character, but the whole flying aspect, 'cause there's not a lot of flyers in the game. You could just go up top, hide behind a column or something. Like, you can get a good bit of use out of Iron Man, I feel like. And Hela, they had a nerf, because she was one of the better characters in the game, as far as Duelists.
Yeah, I think I'll talk about Iron Man a bit, because I mainly have to deal with him when I'm healing other people. He's not that strong until you get his ult. He's just annoying. That's all he is. Like, you're trying to tell people, hey, I'm trying to shield you here, but then you're getting hit from above, and it drives me nuts. Like, we were playing that game yesterday, and I was Invisible Woman when you're a Punisher, and I was trying to shield you from the ground, and it's like, oh, well, my shield only works one way, and we were trying to get Iron Man out of the way. So, yeah, he's an annoying character.
Yeah, I'll try and post it. I've got a recording of us playing and doing that combo. That was actually a good bit of fun.
Yeah. I think one of the things with all the characters, and you mentioned that a lot of people are saying, oh, this character's overpowered, and then it goes down the list. The one thing I hate about, well, I shouldn't say hate, I dislike about people relying on YouTube and streamers to develop their gameplay is when a game has overpowered characters, there's other characters that counteract it, but you're not trying to use the characters that counteract the one that you think's overpowered. What they end up doing is like, oh, I'm just going to try to be that character and see if I'm better using it than that person. I really hope that people who listen to this will think, hey, someone's maybe overpowered and I'm seeing this streamer use that character a certain way. Well, let me try to go use a different character, see how I can counteract that strong character. And that's where I think Marvel Rivals has enough characters for you to develop your own gameplay. Like the yesterday, when it's not a team up ability, but when I was Invisible Woman, you're Punisher and everyone was down the corridor, you said, hey, shield me. You were on your turret. I shielded you. We wiped out the entire squad.
I think I got MVP, like what they call it, the little highlights.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that is what happened, and it was a good time. But then you also have games because I was trying to use other characters, like for this episode. I was like, all right, I need to like kind of get out there and experiment. I'd play a couple rounds with like Psylocke or someone and be like, oh god, this sucks. Like I need to go back to Punisher. But there were characters at the beginning, and they've kind of faded out. Like Jeff the Land Shark was annoying to begin with. Like they would just swallow you up and then just jump off the side and kill everybody on the opposing team. Or Iron Fist would just come out of nowhere. But I feel like as they've kind of fleshed some of these characters out, people are picking different characters. And also characters that are kind of across the board not good in a lot of people's eyes. It just, like I said, it just depends on the map. Because I played a few days ago, I played with Black Widow. Across the map, she's great. I like that as opposed to Hawkeye. Like I can get shots off quicker. I'm sure Hawkeye like puts out more damage because you have to like draw the bow back to fire those power shots. But I didn't mind it. And then a couple days later, I tried to play as Black Widow, and I got absolutely destroyed.
Yeah, there was one map that I was playing, and I was low-key, and all Black Widow was doing was sitting up in rafters and sniping us down, and we couldn't do anything about it, mainly because my teammates weren't focusing on trying to keep the strategist alive, which also is annoying. Because that match, I tried to go to Vanguard and be a tank and do some of that play style, but I always revert back to strategist because that's the play style I like. But I think, yeah, it's very map dependent for who you choose. Like Jeff the Land Shark, all the videos you see on YouTube and all the Instagram reels and shorts, it's just Jeff swallowing everyone and then throwing them off the edge of the map. I saw an enemy try to do that on one map we were playing. They swallowed us up and they tried to go to the edge of a map. Well, the edge of the map, it was a barrier with no edge. So all the Jeff did was released me out, and I just killed Jeff right away. So it's like, you can't just do everything you see on YouTube because someone else did it. You have to come up with your own game style. And that's what I'm hoping after everyone gets past the initial hype and developing their strategy, they will actually start to go do their own thing so that we can see more types of play style and not just see the 5 people who are the major streamers, everyone adapting those play styles. So that's one of the things I'm looking forward to.
I think it takes a real sweater to be good with every character. And I don't know how common of a term that is. Another buddy of mine, when we play, we call people sweaters. Is basically if we get killed by someone a lot, they're a sweater. And to us, that means they're in their bomb's basement, sweating all over their controller, like hands, palms sweaty, like just sweating bucket loads. Because that's like how much time they put into this game. And they're just like lean forward, hat backwards, all into it. So if I use that term, that's where it comes from. But there's some of these characters that are like easier to pick up, but I would need like a good 20 minutes in a tutorial or practice to feel comfortable with the character and their abilities and how to use them. But it's not like that's long-term memory for me. I'm going to use 3 characters after that and then kind of forget when I go back to that character how to use them. And there's some characters I just cannot figure out. I'm trying to get good with Thor. I've tried him a couple times, it just doesn't work. Winter Soldier. Luna Snow's considered one of the better characters in the game. Can't figure it out. It's just those. It just takes some time more. Because I mean, there's other games out there too. It's just more time that I'm that I'm able to put in, especially with a 3-week-old.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you on that. I think I tried to branch out of not being a strategist, like a supporter role. Because I played that in Overwatch. I played that in all MOBA games. So I don't know if people, League of Legends, I was always a support. Dota 2, I was always support. So I tried to branch out. I think I'm going to say in that. And I think one of my favorite characters, which is Mark, I got to double check his difficulty, Loki. I like playing him. And people say he's really hard to play, to master. The one thing I do like is that you can throw up your abilities. Yeah, you only get, the one thing I dislike is I only get 10 shots, and I have to use those shots wisely. I either use them to heal or use them to do DPS. The one thing I do like is when I throw up my 2 decoys, if I put them in a certain pattern, so do a triangle, and I put them, we're capturing a point. I put them on the edges of the point, and I back up and do a triangle, or so, like do it. And if all my teammates are in the middle, I shoot at my teammate in the middle. Now they're getting hit with 3 shots at once. So I get 3 for 1, and it's an epic heal. And I don't see people do much of that. And I really like using him as a stylist, and then using him and come up with the other creative ways. I see people use it as a visibility spell. I don't find much value of it, because even if you try to run away and they hit you just a tick, it's gone.
Duelists we kind of just talked about. So let's get into strategists, because I know every game I've played with you, you love to be the healer, and that's good because not a lot of people do. Because I'm always like that DPS. Like I just want to do damage and get up those leaderboard and all that. But as far as strategists, I like Loki a lot. I think his God of Mischief abilities, his ult is great. His doppelganger and how you could do it's the devious exchange and just switch with the doppelganger to like switch your position. I think all that's really, really good. And you could pair him up with Hela and Thor too for the reborn passive ability. And you get bonus health if those teammates are alive. So if you have a Hela, that's kind of the thing. It's like, oh, someone picked Hela, I'm gonna pick Loki because we're gonna feed off each other. But I really enjoyed playing as Invisible Woman. As far as like strategist is not my thing, but I did enjoy playing as Invisible Woman.
Yeah, she adds a new flavor. I would say I liked it playing with you yesterday. Now, would I play her by myself with a bunch of randos? No. And the reason why I say that is I played yesterday by myself using her to see if I can master some of her abilities. You have to have the communication with her, because as I'm doing the shield swap, I have to be very, very aggressive and knowledgeable of what's going on in the battle. Because if you move, I need to swap the shield, which is a cool ability. Like it just doesn't disappear. It doesn't like stay stagnant and I have to wait so many times. I can say, you move, shields in front of you, which is really nice. But if you're playing with a bunch of random people and don't have the communication, they're not going to know. And you really need to time her ult well. And you need to team it up with people who are going to get in there and do a bunch of fighting, because that's her ability. Is it's healing you in the space while slowing down others. And if your teammate is not engaging in your ult space, then you just lose the ability.
What are your thoughts on Mantis? Because I feel like she is collectively like a lot of people like her. I haven't given her a fair shake. I need to give her another try, but have you played as her? What are your thoughts?
No, I haven't played as her. Let me pull her
I
up.
think you should. If we play today, you should.
Okay.
You should give that a try.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I was watching some tutorial videos of her. I'll give her a shot and see. I was watching some videos, and I think based on what I've watched from the tutorial and learning some of the abilities to branch out, I think she could be my second choice in that. So I'd say with Loki as my primary and bring her in as a second, mainly because I like the fact that I can do the inspiration on an ally and increase their DPS. So reminds me of Mercy from Overwatch 2. So if people haven't played Overwatch, Mercy was a healer, but she also had the ability to boost up DPS for others. And I think that's where Mantis would be the sub for Marvel Rivals is hey, you're going in this fight. I know you're strong. Here's your ability increase. I'll be healing you, and hopefully we can get a team wipe out of that.
So Loki is your favorite for strategist?
Yeah, Loki's my favorite, just because if push comes to shove, I can deal out a ton of damage when I'm by myself. The movability, he offers a lot there. I can swap with my character. I can swap with my decoys. I can, like, last minute fight thing. If everyone dies and I have my ult, I can then go as the Vanguard and hold the point a little bit longer, hopefully getting enough time for my teammates to spawn up. It just offers a lot of gameplay to him, which I really like. And I think the reason I like it, because when I play with randos, I need that versatility, because people who play support roles, you get shit on a lot. So he's one that you can recover from bad situations. I think Mantis would be one of those ones where I can maybe play by myself, but I'd probably want to play her with you. Invisible Woman's definitely the one where I want to play with a teammate and not by myself.
So if you had to play as, let's get into Vanguard, what is your go-to Vanguard player? And because we're kind of reaching towards the end.
Yeah, I would say Groot for Vanguard. And the reason why is because his one shield ability that you can throw up the wall, if you get damaged, if that takes damage, you get healed. So that's really a good move, because if my healers are dead and I'm trying to hold the point by myself, and I can put it up in such a way that I know they're just going to constantly shoot, because people don't think about that. They're like, oh, just hold the fire trigger. Well, I can just throw it up and take all the health back.
You know that wall Groot puts up deals damage out as well if there's an enemy near it?
Oh, really? Is it the Thorn Lash wall?
Yeah.
Yeah, deals 60 damage every half second. Oh, no, I didn't know that, because I know his Ironwood wall heals 40 bonus health per second, up to 250 bonus health as it takes damage.
I'd need to give Groot another. There's a lot of characters I need to give another shot, but I think for Vanguard, I do like Doctor Strange. And you saw, like, people used to put the portals in front of the enemy's spawn point and just send them off the map. So the other day, it was like one of my first times playing as Strange, and I was playing with Chris, and I hit the button for the portal, and I thought I did the portal, so I just jumped through it, and I jumped off the map because someone had did it to me first. And I was the only one on my team that fell for it, and I just felt like an idiot. Because I remember asking you, I was like, am I the only one that just jumped through that portal? And you're like, yep. It's like, sweet, solid.
Yeah. I was about to follow you, and then I looked around the ring and saw it was red. I was like, oops, I'll walk to the side.
Common sense.
No, he as a Vanguard is really great. Put past his, ability to teleport and throw people off the map. He is hard to kill when he is using his ability to block damage. I feel like he's a tank sponge. He can take it, but he can dish out a lot of damage. And I think that's my thing about Vanguards is they're really strong. They have a strong DPS for a tank, and they're bullet sponges. So I think that's why a lot of people like to play them.
I enjoyed playing with Strange. It's like you don't realize you're doing well, and then you see you have like a 5, 10, 20. I think I got up to like a 20 KO streak with him. And I didn't even realize it because I just had been alive for so long. And I was on the point because it was one of those where it was basically that convoy or whatever you're transporting across the map. And I just sat on top of that convoy, and I'd put my shield up and block team players behind me, deal out some damage, start flying around. And you see, it's kind of like in sports where you see a player on the opposite team with your same number, you got to let them know who deserves that number. Same with, like, if I see an enemy Strange or Punisher, and that's like the character I'm playing as, like, I got to let you know that I'm the better one out of the two of us with this character. Like, you should just go ahead and switch characters. It's fine. Yeah. That also might be just a me thing. I just might be weird. It's cool. I'm not mad about it.
Yeah, and yeah, no, I agree with you on that.
So I don't think you said earlier. What was your favorite? Just real quick before we get into the future of this game, what was your favorite duelist?
So right now I don't play
Iron Man.
No, I've been looking into Squirrel Girl, so I'm gonna try her. So I don't play duelist much, but I think she's one that I'm going to try to play. If I had to go with my favorites based on the skill set I have, I would have to default back to Punisher, but I want to give Squirrel Girl a try because I was playing against her and she just insta kills me. And so I want to give her a shot.
I went through a Squirrel Girl phase where I was just getting destroyed by her. But I'm also looking forward to some of the characters coming out that we can get into. So I said the other half of the Fantastic Four, Johnny Storm and Ben Grimm, were coming out January. They're coming out end of February, so the 21st as part of Season 1, which Season 1 ends on April 11th. And then looking ahead, what's being teased right now for Season 2 are characters such as Blade, Ultron, Emma Frost, Jean Grey, and I've also seen Cyclops and Professor X, which I don't know how they're going to do that wheelchair traversal. Like, let's see it happen. But I'm excited for Cyclops. I think that'll be a fun character.
Well, you think with the Professor X, are they going to do it before he got injured or after?
No, I think they're just going to have the one that like floats.
Oh, okay.
And it's just going to be like a propulsion type traversal.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the new characters. I think one of the things I've been seeing with the release of the Fantastic Four is everyone hyped up that Fantastic Four is back in production for Marvel games.
Yeah, it's the year of Fantastic Four because their movie comes out this year too.
So I'm looking forward to that. And I don't know, is Johnny going to be a DPS character?
Yeah.
Okay. It'll be interesting to see because hopefully they give him the ability to fly around, and then it's another. It could be.
It looks like it because you log into the main screen and all of them are on. They're like floating whatever vehicle or aircraft, and then Johnny's flying next to it, kind of floating. So I think they got to put more flyers in this game. So all you've got now is like Storm and Iron Man off the top of my head. And that's essentially it. And I don't ever see anyone playing Storm.
I played against her once, and I think the person knew how to play her because he really messed this up, but he had Magneto as his vanguard. So I think that was a good team combo. And I don't think that's a team combo that you get by the team up criteria, because I think you can do Storm with Captain America and Thor. But well, I'm kind of curious as they go up with this team up ability if they're going to add more combinations based on player styles of, oh, hey, like yesterday we're like, I'll be Captain America, you be Iron Man. We thought that'd be a team up combo, and no, it wasn't. So I'm curious if they'll add more.
It'll be cool to see how, like a year from now, how they flesh this game out. Because I mean, yeah, Iron Man could team up with like Strange, and Banner is like one of his team ups, and yeah, that's it for some reason. So I think they'll add more potentially once new characters come out. But I just want to hit on real quick before we sign out that the art style is very interesting for this game. I like it because it's different. You can tell this is a Japanese game because I mean you just look at any female character and they do their squats, right? They're just loaded. And that kind of thing only comes out of Japan, I feel like.
Yeah, I did notice that, and you could see all the reels where everyone's just simping over.
Yeah, that's all on social media. Them simping over like Invisible Woman or Black Widow. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, it is the same thing that they did with Overwatch. The same thing. So I think it's just going to be around for a while, and it's hard. Like you have younger guys playing these games, and even the females do it. I mean, yeah.
Got any closing thoughts on the game?
Yeah. So, closing thoughts. Great game starting off. I think the only reason why it got so much attention was because it is bringing in the Marvel universe into a hero style shooter.
Free.
It is free. So they just got a lot of traffic through that. You know, everyone who's listening, like, don't worry about the critics who's saying, oh, well, it's just a copy of Overwatch. This isn't the first time a game has copied this. So people who don't know this, but Team Fortress 2, Overwatch copied Team Fortress 2. Then Paladins copied Overwatch and Team Fortress 2. So there's a lot of games that have this style. So don't just come at it with a bunch of hate because you're a diehard Overwatch fan and you're mad because you think they copied your game. No, it's been around. So the haters just go to your corner. If you don't like this game because you love Overwatch, go play Overwatch. Don't worry about this game. Don't criticize it for copying.
I mean, games just pull from each other. It's the same thing with music, right? Like you could take 3 chords in music and play almost any pop song that was written because they're all just pulling from each other and like putting their own, you know, a big enough spin on it so that it's, you know, they don't get sued essentially. But stuff like this, like you can't copy such a harsh word. People are just gonna whine about it. It's a good game. It does a lot of things uniquely. I think that it'll be interesting to see where this game goes over the next year. But we are, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do a 1-year review at some point of it.
No, I think I'll be continuing playing this game for a while in my downtime when not playing other things. It's a good, fast-paced first-person shooter with mission objectives, and I've enjoyed it so far. Would I pay for this game on initial release if it was charged?
I would not know.
No, I wouldn't. I think doing the free-to-play strategy was the right move for them, and they can make their money back with all the abilities to sell skins for the comics. And I'm glad they went with the comic artwork versus making the artwork after some of the characters, some of the movie stars who played these characters.
Well, they also did, if you look at some of the MVP animations, or even just character intros, they're frame by frame from a movie, from a comic panel. Like, they're awesome. And you could tell they put a lot of love and care into that. Their battle pass, I'll probably never buy it. And I'm a big cosmetics guy in games. Like, I want cosmetics like Fortnite. I hate how much money I've spent recently. Big Batman fan, and they put like Ninja Batman, like Samurai Batman in there. I had to buy that. And I just bought another one. I bought Spider-Man recently from Across the Universe. Peter B. Parker. You know what I'm talking about? Jake Johnson from New Girl voices him.
Yep, I know who you're talking
The
about.
pink bathrobe. I bought him recently, and I just bought someone else, and I can't remember who it is, and that is good. Oh, I bought Trunks. I bought Trunks from Dragon Ball Z. Because him and Vegeta are my favorite. We're getting a side note. I really like cosmetics in this game. Like the cosmetics are cool, but I'm not going to be dropping any money into this game. It may have been different if I just had a bunch of friends kind of, you know, sweating over this game. But yeah, it's a solid game. I think people are going to enjoy it for a while. It looks like a lot of love and care went into it. And I'm excited to see where it goes.
Yep, I agree. We'll keep it monitored on, and we'll probably continue to play together. And
yep, that sounds good. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. We're gonna try and get some more gaming casts out there. Not necessarily reviews, but just our thoughts on these games. Because there's in 2025, a lot of good games coming out, and we're excited to play them all. So, till next time, I'm Holden here with Chris. We'll see you next time.